The ls command is the last one that I'll talk about so that we can get talking to the main talk today. So ls is our list command. The list command tells you everything that is in the directory that you're currently looking at. So you can see that I've got some self-signed keys in here, and I've got a OpenStego file. And so if I ls tac a, I can find things that are hidden in this directory. Tac a stands for all, and ls tac l long results, which tells you the permissions for all those files. So that's how you can use flags to modify the command that you're running in terminal. And if you want to know what flags are available for that command, you can go to the man command and it will list all of those out for you and tell you roughly what each one does. So we have tac A for all and tac L for, there's a lot for this one too. Tac L for use a long listing format. So you can find all that information usually in the manual page.
Keep scrolling down.
That's how it's capital lowercase.
Yes. What are you looking for?
X.
List entry lines instead of by columns. Sort alphabetically by entry extension.
Oh no, I was looking for Z.
Z.
Yeah, big Z.
Context.
Yeah, that shows your SC Linux. Context.
Yeah, I didn't use that. And then one last thing I want to note is a tac big A is different from a tac little a because the command line is case sensitive. So you have to be careful when using commands if even a file or a folder that you want to access is capitalized. You need to capitalize it in terminal. And if a flag that you want to use is capitalized, then you need to capitalize that as well. So pay attention to case sensitive because unlike Windows DOS prompt, it is case sensitive. So pay attention to uppercase and lowercase. Any other questions? So I'll do another short little command line type thing next time as well.
My name is Rob McKennon. I'm the current vice president of this organization, group, whatever you want to call us. Gene and I have been attending since the late 90s. I joined right after they stopped having it in somebody's living room. Slackware is my distro of choice. Currently running Slackware on my Raspberry Pi at home, version 1 Raspberry Pi. I also run CentOS on my desktop. My wife runs CentOS on my desktop. But she has Windows 7 at home. And I've given presentations over the years on the following subjects. I will not bore you with reading those all off. But if you'd like to see me resurrect one of those, let me know. I can probably do that.
I could go for learning some Splunk.
Splunk, right? We ran Splunk at my last job, and it works quite well. Set up a centralized log server and forwarded all our Splunk logs to that log server, and we ran Splunk on it. Works great. Oh, mouse. Work with me.
It's my fault.
All right, there we go. So we're all here today to learn about installing Slackware on a Raspberry Pi. Does anybody here not know what a Raspberry Pi is? You know what a Raspberry Pi is?
I brought it to you.
All right, good, good, good. All right. And reference is this website, SARPI, which stands for Slackware ARM Pi. .uk, yep, it's over across the pond.
Well, that's where the pies came from.
That's where the pies are made, yep.
Buddy, I can next it for you.
All right, sure. So I'm going to start off with lessons learned. When you buy a Pi, also make sure you have a power supply big enough. Don't assume that that phone charger in your drawer that worked perfectly fine on your Raspberry Pi 1 is going to work so well on your Pi 3. Not so much. It worked for a little bit, and as soon as it starts chugging along, so make sure you purchase heat sinks for your Raspberry Pi 3.
Have plug strange USB things into your computer?
No.
Presenter?
Oh, okay. I don't know if it might take it. Might not. You could try.
Sorry. Interrupt. Just the one?
Yeah. Also purchase the heat sinks because when this thing starts churning and running X applications and you start compiling, things might overheat and it shut down by itself. Just saying. It could theoretically happen. Especially when it's in your hot garage.
The newest one with those metal cans on them, do you still need heat sinks for that? Those are actually heat sinks, but probably firing it up in the garage would be such a idea.
Yeah. Let's see, a big one.
You work it? One on the right?
Is that a non-air conditioner?
All right. There's a difference between, when you look at the packages, there's a difference between Slackware ARM current and Slackware ARM 14.2, or Slackware ARM 13, or whatever. Interpret current as beta. Don't expect current to install and run flawlessly.
Get that
I installed current first, and actually it looked like everything was running perfectly fine, but I couldn't get sound to work through the HDMI. So I posted to the Linux questions group specifically for the ARM processors, and they gave me some recommendations, and I'll try this kernel, try that, blah blah blah. Make sure your boot partition is properly mounted, blah. So I looked at some of those files on the boot partition, and my boot partition wasn't mounted at all. I'm like, what? So I went through the install again, and I've installed Slackware, I don't know how many times. So many times that I've become very complacent because I've done it so much. And sure enough, that version that I downloaded, the installer that I downloaded, that version of the installer that I downloaded skipped 3 screens when it goes to mount, where you select the fat partitions to automatically mount. So, I learned that, and I posted to the group, and eventually the lead developer comes back with me and says, oh yeah, I haven't quite figured that one out yet.
Why is it released?
Because it's beta. He says if you want things to work flawlessly, yeah, don't use the current. Yeah, so anyway, that's my story about that one. So the general steps to installing Slackware on a Raspberry Pi was to configure your SD card first. To do that, you download their installer file and then DD it to the SD card. At that point in time, you'll have one partition on there, which is about 100 meg. And it will be set up to with the boot flag automatically set. But while you're there, you might as well add 2 more partitions to it. So you add a swap partition and your root partition. Set up your swap partition to about 500 meg, and your boot partition for the rest. And then while you're there, modify the boot/command line.txt file. And I did this to do a headless install. Just shotgun random person. What is a headless install?
Headless install, it sounds like an automated install of sorts. Preset all your parameters.
It has no monitor.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, that's headless install. I mean, you have no monitor or keyboard. So basically, you give it an IP address and you SSH into it, and you configure it that way. That's what a headless install is. Just like when you have a server in your server rack and you want to spin up a VM on it, you don't have to connect a monitor to it, right? You just SSH into it or remote into it and do it that way. That's a headless install.
There we go, exhibit it.
So once you do that, then you download your source media to a thumb drive or your NFS server. And the first time I tried this over NFS server, it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. All right, it didn't work at all, really. But I don't know if that was due to the fact that I was using the current version, because I didn't try installing it with the stable version with NFS. They might have got that fixed by now, I'm not sure. After that, you plug it in, boot up, SSH into it, and start installing. After you finish installing, don't reboot. There's specific instructions that say, do not reboot. Because you go through and you do some other cleanup stuff first, and then you reboot.
What happens if you reboot before that?
Start over, right?
Actually, no, you don't have to.
CH root.
Yeah, you might have to CH root it, yeah. All right, so now, when I was going through this presentation, I'd made up a bunch of slides. And then after I got done making up about a third of the slides that I needed to make for this presentation, I said, why am I making all these slides if I'm just ripping them off the website? So, I'm not going to do that. That's not the right one. That's the right one. So I mentioned modifying the command line.txt file. Basically, all I do is I go into that command line.txt file and I add this in there, keyboards US, and give it an IP address. That's all I have to do. And once I add that into that current string of information, you boot it up, it comes up with that IP address, and you can SSH in as root with no password, and go.
You control cost a couple of times.
What?
Yes, please.
They can't see.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
And can't hear.
I tried to scoot the screen up a little bit further, so.
Some of us are still going.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Honestly, Rob, I was having trouble reading it from
Okay.
the back, and I got 20/10 vision in these glasses, so.
All right, so this is the SARPy website, and this is where I go to for almost all my information about the Pi, at least as far as Slackware is concerned. It tells you about the project, what it's about. I won't bore you with that. About Slackware itself, and then the most important thing is installing Slackware. And the page that I just showed you was notes for pre-installation and how to configure that one file.
So, correct me if I'm wrong here, Pi experts were. All right, so the Raspberry Pi 1 was 32-bit. I think they need to change over to 64-bit with the Raspberry Pi 2. I continued that with the 3.
Okay.
And I remember that Slackware was kind of dragging their feet with 64-bit for a while. So is this 32-bit or 64-bit, or do they have both?
I don't believe they have 64-bit yet. I know I compiled.
3 is. said, I could be totally wrong.
Somebody can Google that, or 30 people can Google that right now.
They're going.
I know that when I compiled Hello World on here just for fun, it was 32-bit.
Yeah.
So I didn't put any special compile flags.
Just curious.
Okay. Good question. All right, so then go back to install Slackware. So after you log in, you SSH in as root. The first thing you do for a Slackware install is, well, actually, the first thing it tells you is, hey, change the date, because the Raspberry Pi doesn't have an onboard clock. So set the date with the date command. You're familiar with that, right, Bob? Bill? I'm sorry, Bill.
If not, run the man page.
Or if not, run the main page, exactly. They use date-s. I think the -s lets you use names. I just do date, month, day, hour, minute, day, year. And you can also, once you have your networking up, you can just do NTP date. And it'll set the NTP time. And then this page steps you through how to use CFdisk to set your partitions. I'm not a CFdisk person. I like FDisk myself, just the way I grew up. That's what I taught.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's the difference between C and this and this?
FDisk is all command line. CFdisk looks more GUI-ish. Okay. So, as you see on this device right now, there's only, it's a picture I can't. I can't highlight it. But there's only one partition on there, dev SDA1. It's a FAT32 partition. All right, so when you DD it to that, when you DD the image to that partition, there's only one, or to that drive, compact flash card, there's only one partition. So CFdisk, and that's what CFdisk looks like. Yeah. It shows you there's one partition on there. And I forget what it is, what the command is, but it steps you through how to add partitions in there and select what type they are. So you'll add a swap partition and a native Linux partition. Steps you through step by step how to do it in CFdisk. And once you get done, it should look like this. Dev MMCBLK0 is your CF card, your micro CF card. Partition 1, partition 2, and partition 3. Partition 1 having a boot flag set.
All the way on the right of partition 1, what is LBA?
Long block enabled. Or long block addressing, yeah. Surprised I remembered that. What's that?
Long or large?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's both.
Yes!
Well, there's
Let's see. Mount your USB stick if you haven't already, and then run Slackware setup. To run Slackware setup, you type setup at the command. And it goes into its awesome, high-tech GUI setup.
that looks
It's
so
not
hard.
changed since the 90s.
It has not changed since the 90s.
No, that hasn't changed since the 80s.
Slackware was around in the 80s. Slackware was around in the 80s.
That's my point, that's 1984.
Just remember, Linux is trying to emulate Unix. Sorry, it
Yes.
was built in the 60s.
My point is, it's like.
And it's still better than Windows.
It works good.
That reminds me of Windows 3.1, when you used to have to do that for Windows 3.1. That's what that reminds me of.
All right, so
Back when it was still DOS.
About that point one.
Back when my computer was first
Yeah. All right, so the first thing you want to do is add swamp space. so that even the installer can add swap, and it adds it to the etcfs tab file. It will automatically detect if there's a swap partition on your hard drive. And it has detected one or more swap partitions, blah, blah, blah. And it will ask you if you want to add this to your, actually it says it's going to add it to your FS tab. Now it's going to look to figure out where to put the root partition. And hopefully it's going to be on your third partition on there. And you select that one. And then preferably quick format with no bad block detection. Unless you really want to wait for a while. They recommend formatting it with ext4. I have not tried JFS or XFS. Gene, have you?
I've done XFS with it's, I had no problems with it.
All right.
So, not on Pi,
Oh, okay.
but with Slackware I've had no problems with it. So,
Yeah, I don't know how XFS, Pi, and this micro SD card would work.
And the current too.
I actually did software RAID with XFS and it was wonderful.
Oh, all right. So we'll go through and it'll format it with whatever one you pick. Add it to your FS tab file. This device is detected that it has no real-time clock. You want to disable FSE checks on boot. So it recommends that you do that. Disable those on boot.
Yep, especially for SD cards.
Next, it's going to try and detect your FAT or NTFS partitions that it detects. And ask you where you want to mount them. These are the 3 screens that it skipped on me the first time I installed the current version. Today I went through and redid the current version and installed it on there today. It did not skip these 3 screens. And it worked wonderfully. So they do update their releases quite often, like at least once a week. Yeah.
On current.
On current, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It asks you how you want to mount that and any particular flags that you want. Root has read access, read-write access, and all users have, the rest of the users have nothing. That's what they recommend. Your users don't need to get to the boot partition anyway. Exactly. Where do you want to mount it? You mount it on boot. And it adds it to your FS tab with those permissions. We select our source media. In the source media, we put on our thumb drive. I missed a couple steps. I wonder if I can go back and find it. In the Install Slackware tab, there's specific instructions on how to rsync from a plethora of servers to your source media down. And it gives you, it's literally cut and paste in the command line, and it sucks it down to your thumb drive or whatever directory you're in. So, sorry I skipped over that step. Kind of assuming that you know how to follow directions and non-mount thumb drives. That could be a giant leap, but you know.
Well, you know what a silly means.
Yes, exactly.
So, did you make one out of you?
Not yet. Maybe. All right, so make sure the thumb drive contains the Slackware package directory, or containing the Slackware package directory is inserted in the USB drive. Hit enter, okay, blah, blah, blah. It was found on your thumb drive, yay. And then it gives lots of options. Hey, do you want to install this from a pre-mounted directory? You want to install it from an FTP server? installing server from an NFS server. After you go through one of those, either installing it from NFS or installing it from thumb drive or pre-mounted partition, here you get to your package selection. What all packages do you want to install? On their specific install, they excluded E, KDEI, T, and Y. E is Emacs. I guess they don't like Emacs. They didn't install it. KDEI is the international language support for KDE. If you don't need 50,000 languages, you don't need to install them. Y is games. And I forget what the T packages are. I don't know off the top of my head. And then they ask you want to install everything, 7.8 plus gig of software. That's the recommended. The terse is light full, but it only displays one line at a time instead of giving you a full explanation of everything that's installing. Choose individually. Menu is choose individual packages from interactive menus. I like the newbie. Use verbose prompting. The X series takes approximately 1 year. I do terse. That's my preference. Just show me. Yes, I'm installing this package. I'm installing this package. I'm installing this package.
You don't want to call yourself an expert just because it's the same as the menu?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just do terse.
That's it.
It's basically the same as the menu. But you can feel like an expert.
This is the full version. It gives you a description, how big it is, compressed and uncompressed, blah, 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 blah. And then it's done, once it's done installing packages, I did this today, and it took me 2.5 hours to get through this. 2.5 hours.
That's local off of the USB.
That was local off of USB.
Lives are slow.
Yeah, lives are not fast. Maybe if I would have the heat sink on there, maybe it would go more quicker.
It's all.
Yeah, because it doesn't throw it to the CPU.
It may not be.
A faster SD
Put it in the
card.
freezer.
Faster SD card?
Yeah.
Faster SD card.
Put it in the freezer?
Put it in the freezer like this. So I actually did a Gen 2 install on one,
Oh.
and I did one on the SD card, and it took, I don't remember how long, but let's just say X. And then I did where user portage, exported out to a USB 2 hard drive, an actual hard drive or a USB 2 bus, and it half the time. That's how I would do it. It was
Really?
so much faster. The SD card is just garbage slow.
Huh.
The best SD card you can stick in there is still
Interesting.
yeah, so if you can export that, it's still over USB 2 bus, which is still not great. But it's still
Still
fast.
twice as fast as the local SD.
Right.
Wow.
We have SD cards that are in PCI slots in servers, and take those and RAID them, and they're still not as fast as the flash drive.
SD media itself is fast. It's just that the interface is slow. And so, like, I have an Odroid, I have a couple of Odroids, and the eMMC is actually the same storage type. It's the same chipset as a SD card, but it's a different interface. It's actually a full bus interface as opposed to the really compatible interface that the SD cards have. And the eMMC is stupid fast.
Yeah.
That thing is ridiculous. And apparently it's the same type of storage. So it's not, it's the interface, it's not the storage.
Okay.
eMMC is, most phones now are powered by eMMC memory
Yeah.
for their internal storage because it's so much faster than.
Yeah. And most eMMCs are soldered right onto the board. The Odroids have no.
Okay. All right.
Rob, so you're installing though you install from the USB drive to the SD card on the Pi, is that correct?
The packages are on the USB drive.
And you install to the SD card.
Correct.
So you can't take the SD card out of the equation, right?
No, the SD card is the main storage of a
Oh,
Pi.
my God. Okay.
What are you talking about doing it with a USB? You can, with Linux, you can mount different critical partitions on different things. So let's say that you have a Raspberry Pi, and it has to boot from the SD card, well, you have to put the boot partition, NVR, all the different things that are required for boot on that SD card. But then everything else, you can actually offload onto something.
Okay.
So it just depends on how creative you want to be with your operating system and doing it.
It's probably get better results on my RetroPie, putting games on an external.
It would only be for either swapping or loading games. Your actual performance in memory and on the processor would not be that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess you could install to a USB drive, and then once you're done, copy it over real quick.
I mean, that's kind of self-defeating.
But you could.
All right, so they say it took approximately 1 hour on the Raspberry Pi 3 to complete the current installation process. Well, it took me 2.5.
And so you're doing all this over SSH, right? When you did it?
Yes, when I did it, it was a headless install.
Okay.
My desktop was here, my Raspberry Pi was sitting right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had the original versus the 3 that they mentioned, correct? You had the
No,
original.
this was on Gene's 3 right there.
Oh, okay.
Rob, do you have it in a case or anything?
Not this one, because it didn't fit in the case that I made for my one, because the ports are different.
Okay. Because mine used to be really bad in the case, but even without heat sinks.
No, this was just sitting out. Yeah.
The Pi shouldn't need heat sinks per se if you're not overclocking it, so you can run it full bore and not,
I had it shut down on me.
Did you give it enough power?
Yes. Yes.
Power cuts off
Yes.
the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi before it cuts off actual system.
Really? I've only had it, I've only done like really hardcore in the ones and twos. I have a couple of threes, but I haven't really like double checked the song. I just remember on the one and twos, they had, like, they said, oh, you don't have to have any kind of heat sinks, it's like that. But apparently with the threes, I guess.
But, you know, my 3s were throttled and I was playing games before I would block it.
All right, so after it done, finishes the package install, then you do a couple more little configurations, like, mouse. You want to use a mouse? Sure, yeah, USB, please. If you select mouse, USB, well, it'll add that, so that it loads that up over time. And it might be nice to do some network configuration. Give a new network address, tell it DHCP or whatever you want. Give it a host name.
Rob,
Yep.
good question. So earlier you had added the IP address as part of the,
That's the boot. Yep. That's the boot for the installer.
okay. Okay.
That's for just for the installer. Good question. Yep. Give it a host name. Give it a domain name. Use DHCP or whatever you want. If your DHCP requires a host name, confirm. Tell it what services you want it to start up. You want SSH to start up, that's checked by default. There's some others, I think, in the current version that were selected to start up by default. Like rsyslog and one of the file discovery guys, I forget what they are. But if you want SendMail to start up, or if you want NFS server to start up, or if you want your web server to start up, you start there. Setting your hardware clock, or your Eastern time, Western time, Pacific time, whatever. Which desktop you want? You want KDE? You want XFCE?
There we go.
Where's no?
Where's no?
Notice GNOME is not on here.
That's because no is.
Is it dead?
No is very much alive. But
Oh, okay.
does Slackware support System D?
No.
That's why no isn't there.
Slackware refuses to go to System D.
GNOME has integrated itself
Ah.
very critically into System B.
That's one of the reasons I like Slackware is they are not embracing System B.
That's why I have Funky Art. I'll have to try out Slackware.
When I was running this on my Pi 1, I found, I don't remember if it was Black Box or Flux Box, but those were very slim, desktop environments.
Black Box is very pretty, but it's
Yeah, sure. KDE is not slim. KDE is very fat.
It's the definition of fat.
Yeah. They say XFCE is a cholesterol-free desktop environment, but it's still
That's
not.
cute.
Yeah.
Is GNOME the one with that taskbar thing?
GNOME 3 is. Now, if you install Mate or Cinnamon, those are actually GNOME, but they've been redone with their
GNOME
interfaces
2.
and or backward. Mate is GNOME 2. Cinnamon is GNOME 3. And a lot of people were offended by the GNOME 3 interface with like the sidebar and little slidey things and stuff. And so they decided to split it.
Unless you like Apple, but then you like it.
Ubuntu still comes default GNOME 3, right?
It does, yeah, it does.
The difference between KDE and GNOME, from what I've ever gathered, is basically the core is Qt on KDE and GTK on GNOME, and that's really the core difference in the core philosophy of the different management of the package.
All right. After you select your desktop environment, then it says, "Hey, you haven't set a root password yet. You should probably do that now."
You don't get
I just leave it blank.
Set all passwords to password.
Yeah.
And
You don't
make sure
forget
it's
it.
all lowercase and spells out the word method.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the job you're looking for? Yeah.
All right, so after that, you go to the next screen, which is completing the install process. System configuration install is complete. You may now reboot your system. Do not reboot.
Do it, don't do it.
You scroll down to exit. Select exit. Do not reboot.
Just to reiterate.
Yeah. Would you like to reboot your system? No, you will be dropped to a command prompt. Perfect, that's what I want, thank you.
Not reboot.
Exactly. 3 times.
Well, it's asking you to do it 3 times.
Exactly. It's like, when you do this on a desktop, yeah, you're done. Reboot, fine, perfect. But if you're on a small system, most Unix systems recommend that you put your boot partition, your boot directory on a separate partition. And usually you keep that partition small. But if you do that, you soon learn that as you do upgrade after upgrade after upgrade, and kernel upgrades, that partition fills up. And that can hose you. So, that's one of the reasons why they don't want you rebooting it. So before you reboot, you set root to the mount directory, and you remove a bunch of kernel packages.
What? You just install them.
Those were set by the installer package, not the installation of Slackware. So it goes through and removes all those superfluous ones. The next step is configuring your boot partition. So you'll mount that partition 1 to the mount boot directory. Important to be very careful here. If you use the RM statement and you miss something, woe to you. It's gone. There's no undelete from the command line. And once you clean all that stuff up, you'll find that your boot partition has plenty of room left. Like 26 meg left. And then there's some extra packages that they recommend installing at the end. some extra kernel packages and some Raspberry Pi extra packages. That includes like I'm going to draw a complete blank now, Flash and some other stuff.
Well, doesn't it? Yeah, it's like RP, this command line interface for the Raspberry Pi that upgrades the firmware.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is going to install some extra good packages that I recommend you have.
But do you have the meltdown fixes?
No, not yet.
Needed for an ARM processor.
But not needed for this ARM processor.
All right, so now it says you can unmount your devices and now you can reboot. Yay!
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure?
Yeah, it has. So then it has another page that says, hey, how do you keep this thing updated? Well, I recommend you actually, set your date again and create your normal user. It goes through the add user command. I use user add instead of add user, but that's just me. And then it tells you all about Slack package and how to use it and how it works. And Slack package update and configure your mirrors, just like an apt. Update your GPG key, do a Slack package update, and it'll pull down your updates. And if you installed the current version and you run the install new, there shouldn't be that much more new stuff. I did this and it comes up with all this Calligra, blah, 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 all these foreign languages that I didn't install. Saying, hey, these are new packages for you. No thanks, I'll deselect all those.
I don't speak Russian, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. You get a Slack package upgrade all. It'll upgrade the packages that need to be upgraded since you downloaded them. Blah, 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 blah. That will keep Slackware updated in the Slackware way. Now, there's the Raspberry Pi update thing that Gene was just mentioning. And that's very, very common with Raspbian. And what's the...
It's Raspberry.
Raspbian? Okay. So the RPI update tool is a tool created by blah, blah, blah for upgrading your Pi boot firmware kernel and kernel modules with one simple command.
That's the one I was saying.
Yeah.
The update.
It's very convenient and easy to use, although not totally in line with the Slackware way. Imagine that. Slackware ARM has its own package management system, but RPI update circumvents all that and installs everything for you in one go, apt-get-y install fashion. Which isn't the best thing, which isn't always the best thing to allow because you don't always really know what's being installed or upgraded or overwritten or deleted on your Slackware ARM system. So, you can have ease or not. But if you want to install it, here's a simple cut and paste in your command line, and it'll pull it down and configure it for you. And then you run RPI update, and it does it for you. Some example shows you what it's all doing. And once you get done with your Slackware updates or your RPI updates, reboot. You should probably have a new kernel. And you should be good to go. Cross your fingers.
Especially if you're running current.
Especially if you're running current. If you get this far, well done.
That's sad that even says well done.
Yeah.
Take a sigh of relief.
Creating user account, yeah, we already did that, blah, 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 blah. Configure NTP to use an NTP server, so you don't have to do this each time you reboot.
Net time protocol.
What? Okay.
And so, you still have your, can I borrow your cable? Sure. Your HDMI?
I only have 2.
Okay.
There's basically right in the box back there.
Just
My latest Samsung works just fine.
And so we're Raspberry Pi 4.
How many,
It'd be USB-C.
Can you set this up?
an external hard drive?
I'd have to gander a little closer.
I've gotten the Conikit too. You just have a whole PSU hooked up to it.
How many watts is that power supply?
About 350.
More than my last one?
Fair enough.
I don't know yet. Give me a minute.
Not enough to run Google on that thing? I'll tell you that much.
It boosts!
You see 4 little Raspberry Pis up here? Because it's a 4 processor. So this is a fresh install today. What's that?
I did not know that.
Oh, okay, yeah, my Raspberry Pi only has one of these. Why am I?
And if you're in what David or 4 digits,
You said that was number 4, is that what you said?
I can't wait. I don't have no problem doing that.
That's the number 4?
64 machines. I have, and I guess there was at one point it was wrapped. It was wrapped. So you lose 3/4 of the screen. I guess very early on they fixed that.
I have it set for DHCP, so it's waiting for a carrier.
There it goes.
That's
Yeah, log in.
melted right now. It's in the car.
This one actually sits.
Yay!
May your camel be as swift as the wind.
Message of the day.
Message of the day.
Camel?
Camel.
May your camel.
You don't ride camels though?
2 humps, desert creature.
Sometimes one home.
It's easier to enter the kingdom of heaven for man than it is because of the eye of the needle. I only use my camels for going through the eyes of the needle.
And there we have XFCE on Slackware. Gene asked me earlier today.
Hey, the headless gone ahead.
Yes, exactly. It's got a head now. Gene asked me today if does wireless and Bluetooth work on it. I said, let me find out. Wireless I got working today without really any issues. Bluetooth is another story. I haven't quite got the Bluetooth thing worked out yet. Is that what?
Yes.
HP logo on your pie.
Cast my phone to it.
Um,
I got a wire.
I need new glasses maybe, but.
no, it says HP. It is.
Okay, alright.
I think it's their printing thing.
Oh. What kind of good is?
So,
Yeah, I got one train on the Raspberry Pi, so you know anything?
any questions? Yes.
Why Slackware, not Raspbian? What's the advantage or disadvantage?
I think you heard earlier.
I'll accept it.
I like Slackware.
Why Debian
No System D, it's still System V. So, yeah, it's still System D. It still runs in scripts. No System D, no Firewall D. So, it's old school Linux, and that's what I like.
Okay.
I guarantee Microsoft will start making.
Any other questions? All right. We have a